Oh, so I want to start off with talking about your song where you're talking about she get it from her mama, because I'm from Texas, and to me that is very southern saying, like that's southern, like straight up thing. So I'm wanting
100%.
to putting on for us. And I love the connection. Like I watched your music videos, I'm like, this is so like southern, like straight up. And I love that it's a black man like reclaiming country music, because we were originators for that. So it's
Right. And it's been an experience doing that too, because it's you never thought that just being a black guy from the country. Yeah, I grew up in Bahama, North Carolina. That's like a small county outside of Durham. I'm a country boy.
Mhm.
So you would think that all parties would welcome a black guy singing country music because that's where I come from. That's me. Like she get it from mama. Just I said that so many times before even that song even came about. And I'm in between this country music and rock space now. And it's a little scary reclaiming that, but um, I'm an older male, you know what I'm saying? I'm not a young whippersnapper, I'm middle age, you know what I'm saying? So, but it was time for me to step into my roots and do my thing, do what I do. And
Yeah.
that's just what I do. That's just where I grew up. That's just how where I came from. So I didn't know it was going to be a little bit of a controversy with certain groups of people, with me being myself. And I was like, oh, that means I ain't got to cuss nobody out. I ain't got to say nothing outlandish. I don't have to go steal a trophy from Taylor Swift on stage. All I gotta do is be black and do rock and country music, and that's enough controversy in itself.
Yeah, and it's crazy because of the fact, like I've witnessed that with Lil Nas X, he got a lot of pushback from doing that.
Yeah,
So, especially being a gay male, like that's super triggered people, and it's like
yeah,
it should never be triggering. Like
yeah.
it should
It should
never
it
cause a problem.
it shouldn't be, and that's because it's the lack of history or the choice to remain that prejudice when it comes to certain people doing a certain. This is ours. Y'all have R&B and hip hop. This is our music. Since when?
Yeah.
When was it yours?
Yeah.
I love all my friends, you know what I'm saying? All my shades and everything like that. And I hate having to say the obvious, but my friends they know too, you know. And so, with that, it's still fun. And
Good.
and it's still a groove. Like we still from a mama. Boom, boom.
Yeah.
People on the internet can say what they want to say.
Yeah.
It's been great feedback. But
Good.
when we go to the live show and we do She Get It From My Mama, it goes crazy.
Okay, good.
It goes crazy. And so that's what, at the end of the day, that's what why we create music, is to do it live and perform it and share it with other people. And the response
Good.
always great. So I'm excited. I'm excited about it. And we just finished the album too. So
Good. I see that you're planning a tour 2023. So, is this
yes.
the album for the tour?
Yes. Well,
Okay,
this
good.
is one of the albums for the tour. It's going to be two albums. It'll be two
Okay,
albums.
cool.
This album in particular, because it has She Get It From My Mama on it, it has Preacher's Daughter on it, and then it has six others that kind of go in that lane. The reason why I wanted to do songs in that lane first before I took on that I did a record called Just Pretend as well. And it's a little bit more in the rock space. But before I went there, I wanted people to know where I come from first, and what I'm all about. And then I want people to then jump on this journey with me, because
Yeah.
it's called Don't Forget Where You Come From. And then that's the album. But then the next phase of music is my evolution and my change of like growing up in college. What was the music of choice and what was I really doing? I was in a rock band. and
Mm.
I took all of that. And so now the next part of the journey is still gonna have that country, it's still gonna have that soul, but it's gonna have a lot of that rock element. And I'm really excited about it.
Oh
And
wow, that sounds so much fun. And I love the fact that you said you're doing an evolution on your journey, because I know that now you're like based in LA as well.
yeah, yeah.
So if you're going on that journey, you can like, do you feel the process of changing?
That process of changing, at first I was um resistant to that, like, oh my God, it's changing. And you get nervous or you get anxiety about it. But now I'm embracing it. I'm embracing the change. I'm allowing myself to evolve and I want to record it. And instead of hiding the evolution, I want people to see it. I want
Yeah.
people to see it. I want people to hear it and go on the journey with me. So it's more of a connection and it's more of, I want, instead of just trying to make a record to go on TikTok and explode that way. I really want to do art that is just 100% me, and that includes recording the evolution.
Mhm.
Because if we're not changing, then we're dying. Because that means there's no growth. There's no, we're not being nurtured, so we're not allowed to change. But I'm being nurtured. I'm doing what I love to do. I'm doing the records that I love. I love
Look
getting
at
nasty with it,
it.
having fun, and and then and then whatever I'm inspired by just comes out. I'm in London right now, and
Ooh.
with the legendary Jamie Foxx, working on some stuff, and what he has done for me is like we've been able to hear the music of the city.
Mhm.
And right now um, we're doing some Afrobeat stuff. We're doing some, not on my personal project. My personal project is going to stay in the rock lane. But when my barber, for instance, this out here, Greek guy, white dude, red head, like red beard, he can fade. Like he's just so nasty. But he went after he cut my hair the first time, he went and heard my music. And he was like, oh my God, bro, oh my God, bro,
Rough.
oh my God, bro.
They add the B. I love it. First of all, Jamie Foxx, I know you're a producer that worked with Snoop Dogg and Jamie Foxx. First of all, that is so cool. Jamie Foxx is like so multi-talented. He can literally change his voice to sound like anyone. Django was like one of the best projects ever. My dad put me on Django. It's I that is so iconic to work.
And he from Terrell, Texas.
Do you
Terrell.
have like, do you have sometimes like where you're just looking at him like, oh my God, it's Jamie Foxx? Like, I feel like I wouldn't be able to work with Jamie Foxx without every day, like, this is Jamie Foxx.
All the time,
Yeah.
all the time. Like it never gets old, and I never take it for granted because it's one of those rare instances where someone like me to come from a small town, and then went to LA,
Yeah.
right? And I was singing at Delilah, Purple. I was singing Purple Rain at Delilah. That's Drake's club in LA.
Yep.
Jamie was there with the baddest table, the best table, the best seats. He pulled his phone out, and the rest was history. Dave Brown, he is his manager, assistant, and executive assistant actually. And uh, they got my information. I got theirs. They had this artist named Jay Young at the time. He's still with us. We all did Mowing Down Vamps, the Day Shift theme song. If you
Wow.
we did the theme song to Day Shift, and we
Nice.
did it all together. And it was, ever since then we've been working for about 4 years, 4.5 years now.
Wow.
And it is an honor. And through that, it helped me to really embrace my evolution too, because I was growing. Being amongst the greats, you got to grow,
Yeah.
right? You got
Yeah.
to grow involved. And I've learned a lot of lessons. I've grown as a man, being around somebody that just has it.
Yeah.
Like I feel like Jamie's smarter than everybody because he's so strategic, and like he's incredible. And so
And
it's a
he's been doing this since like the 90s. Like, so he did this before social media.
Yeah, when was
Like,
the Living Color? Living Color was like in the 80s, in the
oh,
late 80s.
That's 80s. Okay, that's cool. That's
In
before
the
I was born.
80s. He been hot since the 80s. So
Oh wow.
that is just it's so exciting and a breath of fresh air just to be around and to
Yeah.
create. And we got a whole studio here at the house that we're at in London.
Mhm.
And we got a studio set up and we have a live music room set up. So it,
With London, like, are you, because you obviously capture the energy of your environment whenever you're
mhm.
creating. So in London, do you hear like you said you like you're picking up on music there. So are you hearing it in your creation process right now?
Yes,
Definitely.
100%. 100%, because I mean, I'm meeting with so many people that's local that are big artists though. And you hear this influence and you're like, oh. And then we run to the studio and we just spit it back out just to feel it, just to create. Because not every time we I think right now we're not creating so strategically. I
Mhm.
think we're creating to create.
Good.
We're creating because we're inspired, and that is it. I think, and it feels good because for a while I've been creating um, to be strategic. This is well thought out, but every so often you need those opportunities to let loose and just create to create, get back to the root of why you love music and why you do music in the first place. It's to create, it's to inspire, and it's to enjoy and to be inspired by, and then create again and start that whole entire process. Um, and then it turns into therapy, right? It turns into an outlet. It turns into like I said before, inspiration, um, and then just ideas, just get ideas. And then guess what? You go back and listen to some of those ideas, and they may end up being a strategic thing that you can use, or a banger. And like, oh my God, we can use that for this.
Mhm.
All of a sudden, that creation turns into some money.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So I feel like it's all led by love.
I love
100%.
you like went back to your inner child. I think whenever someone doesn't necessarily put some money first and or
Right.
strategy or business, it allows
Right.
your inner child to just be embraced and
Yes.
let loose. And I think that's always so like creative because when you're a child you don't have like structures on your brain.
Right, right. And I feel like if you, it's, when you're a child, you can learn languages faster, you can learn certain skills faster and all that stuff. And so I'm like, however I can um, just tap into that, like, and go back into it, um, letting loose and really like just having fun
Yeah.
with music. I feel like it's like the fountain of youth, you know?
Yeah, because it's like brain elasticity. Your brain is
Yes.
so elastic whenever you're a child, and then it closes off around 25, I think, for women. So I
Yeah.
think you said you're middle age, and like I think that'll keep your brain from just like, I'm this way, this is how I do things. And
Yeah, yeah. Because I see, I'm in my 30s. I'm in my 30s, and so but the thing is, what I like about being in my 30s is that I feel like for men, if you take care of yourself and you're not out here acting crazy, you can 30 can be a prime for you,
good.
and I most definitely feel like 30 is my prime, and I'm not ashamed of it.
Yeah.
I've been taking care of myself, and my voice actually changed. It did like another change like 4 years ago.
Mhm.
And so that big rasp sound that you hear now, I
Mhm.
didn't have that in like 2000, like I'll just say like 2015, 2016, 17. I didn't have that, but something happened like late 2019. I started getting this rasp, and I wanted to make sure it wasn't vocal nodules and all that stuff. My voice dropped, so it wasn't as high,
Mhm.
and I went from a tenor to a baritone. But when I'm singing, I can still hit those tenor notes.
Mhm.
So I went to the doctor, vocal doctor, and and wanted to see, what was going on. Vocals were healthy. And
Mhm.
so then like that's, I guess the change really got locked in during the pandemic. And then after the pandemic, I started singing again. All of a sudden it was like just more power, more tone. And I was like, okay, this is the time where I need to be recording and capturing this. And it matched the genre that I always felt like I should be doing.
Yeah.
And here we are today. Like,
It's
I signed.
I literally hear your you have strong vocals, and it's cool because like what if God was just like, let's throw in a little like surprise over here and make a
Yeah,
route? Because what if you didn't end up going that route, or like saying, oh, this is really me, if that
yeah.
is.
Like when I so shout out to Johnny Forster. He's my management now, and he also played A&R as well. And he was presenting me songs. It was like, oh my God, with your voice, you should do this, or you should do that. And I think it was important for him to do that because I'm a producer and I'm an artist, and sometimes it's hard to find the right songs for yourself. Like somebody can give me a song and I can do whatever to it, but I needed someone to see me live and perform live and say, "Oh my God, I have the perfect records for you to capture what you do live." Because I wanted what I do live and what I do in the studio to finally relate and come together.
Mhm.
And that's what just happened. And Johnny was that guy. Was like, you got to do these records. And then the head of Sumerian, the CEO of Sumerian, Ash, he started sending me rock songs too. Like, you gotta do some of this too. You gotta do some of this. And I was like, wow, I came all the way to California to get closer to me than ever before. I was like, okay,
You
thank you,
gotta bring the
universe.
South to Cali. Like that's good because I feel like back then everyone was like, we have to play a certain role, we have to be gangster, we have to, and it's like embrace showing the world that Black people are multifaceted. We have so much lanes of existence, personalities, whatever is so good. And I'm glad we're in a generation now to where we embrace that. We want people to show who they are themselves because there's always going to be an audience that's just like you.
Yeah, a hundred
There's
percent,
not just one audience, you know? So that's
100%. Like, and now I'm like, oh my God, I can't believe I was about to miss out and not follow my gut, and I was gonna miss out on so many beautiful people that I've met
Mhm.
by doing this music, and even you, like I would have missed
Yeah,
out on
this
this,
is good. Like you don't understand. I'm from a small, like we're from Austin, but my family put me in a school in a small town, Elgin, Texas. You know what I mean? So it's just like I can relate to that so much, especially when I moved to New York for a bit. Like I was
Yeah,
just like the Southern girl, but they loved me because of it. And I
yeah,
thought I
yeah.
would have to change. Nope, didn't change
Nope.
it.
They got to change it all. They want you to be even more of yourself. Like pull back. They want the real. They want the real.
And it's
And
also that trust that you had with your team to go for it, you know?
yeah, it was like, okay, all right, let's do it. And
Yeah.
then you have to like embrace it. And then all of a sudden I was like, oh my God, I love this. You mean to tell me I I could sign a record deal and be myself? What? I didn't know that was I thought it was a thought it wasn't a thing.
Nope.
So I I literally signed a record deal to be transparent and be myself. And it's just uh it's it's such a like a blessing. I'm so
It is. And the
like
fact that you're in
really
London
happy.
right now is so different. Like that, that is so cool. Right now, I know there's probably like fashion shows and things like that
Oh
going on.
my God.
You gotta go to that because that'll inspire you like
Oh yeah, I went everywhere. We've been
okay,
everywhere. Oh my
good.
God. Like when I tell you, have you seen my Instagram?
I haven't
Like
seen Instagram yet.
go to my Instagram and
Okay.
you will see what happened this past week.
Okay.
Completely
That's
I
fun.
can't even put in the words. I mean, talking about meeting Nia Simone, Serena Williams,
Oh, not
Austin
Serena.
Butler, Angela Bassett.
Oh my God. And what?
I
That
mean,
is so, I wouldn't be able to control myself. I would just be like, hi. Like, what?
it was like I was in a movie, and
Yeah.
it was the night. It was the week of the BAFTA, so you know the British Academy,
Mhm.
the awards. So everybody was here.
Nice.
Everybody. I saw everybody from Wakanda. Everybody from Wakanda.
Country too. Like that must feel so different coming from like North Carolina. Like
Yeah. I mean, think
whenever
of
you
the
go back to North Carolina, how does it feel? Do you just feel like whew, we're home? Or how does
it's
it?
like it's it makes I ask myself the question like how did this happen?
Mhm.
You know, you really have to believe, be led, but also allow yourself to continue to be inspired.
Good.
And if I wouldn't have moved out of Carolina, I would have missed the window.
Yeah.
If I wouldn't have moved the time I moved, and it was right before the pandemic, and I didn't meet everybody that I met before the pandemic who I went on to work with in depth because the pandemic stopped everything. So we just, hey, let's get in the studio and work. And
Mhm.
then like it blossomed after the pandemic was over because everything was open again. But now the world is open with new connection. And now it's like, oh, wow. You know, so when I go home, it's a breath of fresh air because it's like I did what I was supposed to do.
Yeah.
And now I'm going to continue to do what I'm supposed to do.
Like inspiration.
The inspiration is now starting to be recycled and reused again, and so now you just want to um, keep going, keep
Mhm.
going. I just I feel younger. I feel younger than I did when I moved. Um, I feel healthier.
Good.
I feel I'm stable. You know, I'm in a great place right now, and it's all because I chose to be just me. You
Trust the
know,
process.
and follow your that whatever that voice is that's guiding you every day. Like, don't ignore it. Just go get it. Like, and it may not pan out exactly the way you schedule, but at least you ignited something, and
Mhm.
it's going to lead to that thing that is yours, that is your, oh my God, but it's all
I
about
feel
putting
about
into
this.
action.
That is so
Right.
true. I feel about like just starting to just let's talk to so many people I've been wanting to just like interview. And I was like,
Right.
to get a studio, I gotta do all, and I'm like, no, you know what?
Mm-mm.
Let's start at home and
Yeah.
see where it goes.
Yeah. Like I made so many records that right at home,
Right. Good.
right at home. So it's really been great. Really been
I
an
so
amazing
appreciate
journey.
you hopping on this call with me. I have another one that I have to do now. And
Yeah,
definitely we got to reconnect whenever you're on tour, just so I can see how it's going.
100%. Like let's do a follow up.
We definitely got to do a follow-up. I will be
Yeah,
putting it to my calendar. Be like,
yeah.
hey,
I enjoyed
call
it.
it real quick.
Yeah, just let me know. Let Heidi know. It was crazy this time because I'm in London. So
Yeah.
I was like, okay, what's plus 8 hours? Okay, let's do Eastern. Let's do Eastern time. That way I can
I know it's so difficult, but it's like now I'm learning the clocks of everyone right now.
yeah, 100%, 100%. So I appreciate you being patient with me.